today's call, I'm streaming live here. You'll have to forgive me. I'm not like 100% used to this. So, but I should be getting I should be getting more used to this. It's okay. So, here is what today's video is going to be about. I wanted to give some more information on the sew along that I'm doing with the Anna Maria Horner fabrics called Brave. And then wait a second, see if I can get other people in here to say hello. Forgive me, I'm doing a whole bunch of like tech stuff at the moment. I'm gonna let everybody come in, get online, get watching. What I'm doing with the Anna Maria Horner fabrics called Brave. And then wait a second, see if I can get other people. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. I'm good. We're good now. So, hey, we have a couple people joining me, as you saw my tech flub in the beginning. But hello, Brenda, and hello, Mama K Quilts. You're joining me from Fort Worth. Oh, another Texan. I love it. Hello. Okay, so I know y'all have been asking about the sew along, and I have been a little bit lax on giving out details. Well, that ends today. I have a whole list of things here that we're going to go over and give you a little bit more guidelines. So we're going to do a quick run through of everything with the sew along, how it's going to work, what I'm expecting, what I think, questions that you have probably as well. And if you have questions during this that you want to ask me, this is a live chat, go ahead, put them in the live chat so that I can kind of keep an eye out for them, and I'll try and answer them as I'm going. So welcome everybody. I've got some California, Oklahoma, Wales. Hello, G Jones from Wales. It's so nice to see you. We got a good mix of everybody here. So the reason that I wanted to do the sew along is because I absolutely love bringing the sewing and quilting community together. And I wanted to invite you to join me because you're a part of my community. And you know, I get to know different subscribers. I have a lot of subscribers and email subscribers and different things, and different little pockets within my industry, right, in my little corner of the quilting world. And I get to know a lot of you quite personally, and I love it. I do. So I wanted to be able to bring everybody together, but this is meant to be a very loose and fun way to connect and to get some inspiration while you're in on it, right? You know, I don't want to put things in a box to where you can't quilt, you can't not quilt, you can't be who you are meant to be. So real quick, while we're going through this, if you have not officially signed up for this sew along, and I have not promoted this big time, so don't feel bad if you haven't done it, but in the description box, if I did it right, there should be a link that will take you to a page to officially join for the sew along. You don't have to. I swear I'm not going to spam you with a bunch of emails and stuff, but this is going to be a way for me to keep you in the loop during this sew along, so that you know what's happening week to week. I'm going to send you out reminders when I have like live calls that we're going to do, and we're going to get into that a little bit further in this video that I'm doing today, so you can you know, stay in the loops, know what's happening, and also know some of the other things that I'm setting up. We'll get to that. So in the description box there should be that link. It let's see, oh, you might get my weekly newsletters on Fridays too. I send out a newsletter on Friday. If you aren't interested in that, you can stay in for the sew along, and then you can get out for the, you know, afterwards you can unsubscribe or whatever. It's completely within your control. I'm just giving this as a way to stay in contact with you so that you're in the loop for what's happening. So yeah, the reason for this video is I didn't give a lot of guidelines on the sew along when I announced it, right? I just kind of said, let's sew together, it'll be fun. And then I got a lot of messages from people going, okay, Kristen, let's sew together, but how? What are we doing? What's the guidelines? What's the dates? You know, I need a timeline. And I get it. You know, I don't want to put you in a box, but I do need to give you some guidelines, and so that's what we're going to do. Personally, being a very creative person, also slightly stubborn personality, if somebody says, I want you to be creative and do whatever you want, but I want it to fit within this mold, the rebel side of me says, I don't want to do that. Even though every other part of my personality and who I am is by the book. I was absolutely devastated back in school if I got anything less than a B plus. Like the other side of me, the just regular human adult side of me, loves the rules and the regulations, and I need to know where I'm supposed to be and when. I live and die by my Google Calendar. But when it comes to creative stuff, I like to be given free reign. And so that's why I kind of said, do whatever you want. But let's add some rules to that so that the rest of us can feel a little bit more structured. So, if I was in your shoes, I would absolutely want the same rules and structure too, just to know what it is that's expected of me. So by the end of this video, I'm laying everything out. You should have a good idea. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat there. I'm trying to scan, make sure there's lots of people from all over. That's fantastic. Go put the questions that you have in the chat and I will get to them. So in today's video, I'm going to give some hard dates for some meetups that we're going to do. They're going to be virtual, and that way we can kind of keep each other on track, on progress. This isn't meant to be a quilt sew-along that you do by yourself, because that's not the idea of a sew-along, right? You have virtual friends that are all over the place, and you want to do this project with them. Okay, so there's some questions that have been asked already in my previous video where I announced this, so I'm going to get to those as well. But I'm going to announce some specific dates. You can take notes during this video if you want, but I am going to tell you that at the end of this video, I'm going to go back into the description box, because this video will live on for a while so that people who didn't catch it live can catch it later. I'm going to go back into that description box and I'm going to put all of this information in there, but not the links, because it's the internet. You don't know who's going to click on what and show up where. I would like it to be just our group. So that's another reason why I would love for you to be in with me and join, officially join the sew-along, so that I can send you my Zoom link and we don't have YouTube weirdos show up that don't belong. Okay, been there before. We don't want to go do that. Okay, so like I said, if you have questions for me, drop them in the chat. I will get to see. Gwen says, brave is so lovely. I can't wait to do it with everybody. Yes, this fabric is gorgeous. And for those of you who asked, this is my fabric right now. I have not started, okay? So you're not behind. You're not in any way, shape, or form left out of the loop. This is my fabric. This is a YouTube live. You are looking at it basically without the ribbon on it, because I had to do some video with it. So I have not started yet, but I will. So I bought an 18 fat quarter pack, and people were having a hard time because it was out of stock in a lot of places. It's pretty popular right now. It's gorgeous. We know it's gorgeous. And I can tell you that just before this video, I checked Anna Maria Horner's website. Mama K Quilts, this is for you. I checked Anna Marie Horner's website, annamariehorner.com. Her fabric shop is called Craft South, but it's in stock, okay? It's in stock on her website currently. So I know after I announced this, it went out of stock. Now, her 18 fat quarter pack is $61. I forgot to check how much shipping was, or if she charged for shipping, but which can be a little bit pricey for 18 fat quarters. It's a little bit pricier than some, but y'all, her fabric quality is top notch. I mean, you're not getting thin chintzy fabric. It's good quality fabric. So I understand it can be a little bit pricey, but she has such a reputation of really good high quality fabric that it kind of does demand a little bit higher price right now. So, but you know, you're going to be happy with what you get with that. I've had a couple people ask if they can still participate but use their own fabrics from home, because I know as quilters we don't have like at least most of us don't have a lack of fabric, and sometimes you get into that state where you can't buy a new fabric. You're trying to use the stuff that you have at home, trying to use those pieces that you already have at home. And I would like to say, yeah, go ahead. Use what you have at home. I'm not going to absolutely cut anybody out of this. Just realize that when I am talking about this, you're going to hear Anna Maria Horner's name a whole lot. You're going to hear the Brave line a whole lot. And your fabric is going to look different than other people's. So, you just won't have the same fabrics, but you're still going to get the joy. You're still going to get the community that comes with it. I don't mind. Okay, if you want to use 18 other fat quarters, that's fine. Just keep in mind that this group was started with the 18 fat quarters, and the purpose, which I'll go into in a minute, is the Brave line from Anna Maria Horner. But if you want to sew along with us at home, I would love to have you. Okay. Danelle says, if we're unable to buy the fabrics right now, girl, I just answered that. I just answered that, but I know the chat is just a little bit delayed, so that's okay. But yes, you're able to use your own fabrics. I've had people ask, you know, I have a Cave fat quarter set. Can I use that instead of Anna Maria Horner's? Cave is kind of comparable in terms of bright colors, bigger patterns, bigger scale of fabric, you know, details and stuff, as well as, like, I've got this one right here. You know, it is definitely Anna Maria Horner fabric because I just pulled it from my stack, but you know, it kind of has that floral, natural quality to it, and Cave is a pretty comparable one. I don't know if anybody else would agree with me on that, but I would say that yes, like, I've had several people say that they're going to use the Cave fat quarter line instead of Anna Maria Horner, so I think that it is a very comparable designer for this challenge and this project. Let's see. Renee asks, is it going to be traditional blocks? Okay, sit tight. We're going to get to that. That was just going over if you have different fabrics, if you would rather use something else and you can't afford these or you can't find these, because for a while they were out of stock. And yes, use whatever fabrics you have, because this is really more so about bringing us together and having fun, sewing and sharing ideas, right? So before I go into, let's see, what else did I say in here? Oh, so if you missed the very beginning of this call, to get the details, the reminders, the printed copy of the schedule that I'm going to go over right here, there's a link in the description box that is stitch.academy/AMH SewAlong 1. Go ahead, fill that form out. That will get you on the list, and you'll get like the reminders about all of our live calls. So you're going to hear me say that a couple times because people come in and leave. But yeah, make sure you are registered for that. So before I announce like the dates and the reasons for all of this in the first place, I want to read something to you, and I'm gonna sit here and read it like this because I don't want to mess it up. But this is a quote from Anna Maria Horner on why she designed this line of fabric and how it came to be called Brave. So she says, I have long relied on my photos, sketches, doodles, and plans to begin any new collection of fabric, and found the hunt and gather process to be comforting. However, when I approach other creative endeavors, such as a wall mural, all I do is gather the paints and brushes and I simply begin. It is that other approach, that brave approach, that inspired this collection. I made no plans or sketches and used no photographic references. I just trusted my hand and my eye. The beauty in it, in this freeing style, is that the art feels like it has drawn itself. My Brave collection celebrates letting yourself completely give in to color, form, beauty, and to chance. Hand-drawn pathways and imaginary florals and stimulating palettes dance through small and simple, as well as large and complex designs. I'm inviting you to be brave and let spontaneity in your patchwork. And and let the spontaneity into your patchwork and sewing. Like, whew, wow. I mean, does that completely embody everything in the word brave? Does that completely embody everything in creativity, right? Oh, am I still too quiet for you guys? I'm seeing this come through. Let me see. Can I? How's that? Can you hear me a little bit better, Linda and Christine? It might be because I have my iPad in front, but hopefully you can hear me a little bit better. So, with that quote, being modern quilters, being artists, being brave is an essential part of the process. And you may not think about it like that when you're just walking into your sewing room to, play and be in your creative, happy space. You just want to work on quilts for your friends and family. But it really does take courage to take new risks and new techniques. Sometimes they don't work out as expected, right? Sometimes your techniques don't work out as they expected it to. But it's through these moments of experimentation and exploration that we really, truly get to grow as artists. So that's my 2 cents on embracing the unknown, being willing to make the mistakes. That's what really sets us apart from people who are truly innovative in their craft and others who just kind of mosey through life being, having fun but still enjoying what they do. But that's those that are very innovative and you're just like, I can't even imagine doing something like that. Those are people who have taken those risks. All right. And I say a lot in my videos and stuff that mistakes are learning moments for me. And something that I get quite often in my comments on my videos and stuff are, I like the way you teach. You don't make it seem so scary to make a mistake. Or just last night in one of my calls with my membership group, somebody was asking how to cover up something, like a mistake that they made. And I was like, no, we just need to add a design element. Let's add a ribbon right there so that nobody sees that it was actually, it's not a mistake. It's a design choice and a design element to it. So, it's that innovativeness that is really inside of us. So throughout this journey, throughout this SewAlong, I'm going to encourage you to be brave. I'm going to encourage you to embrace that little side of you that maybe needs a little encouragement to try something new, to not be afraid to make a mistake, to realize that making a mistake when you're sewing is not the end of the world. There is more fabric out there. If you make a really, really big mistake, there's more fabric out there. You can order it on Etsy. It'll be at your house in a couple days, and it's not the end of the world. I mean, maybe you don't want to spend more money on the fabric, but it can be fixed, right? So during this, I'm going to set up a pop-up Facebook group for us, and that way we can get in there. We can chat amongst ourselves. You will have access to each other, right? So you can gain inspiration, see what everybody else is working on. You can post pictures of your progress. They're if you register via that link down in the description box right now, I will make sure and invite you to the Facebook. It will be a closed Facebook group, so it's only the people who are in this challenge that are going to get access to it. But that's going to give you that sense of community as well. Because like I said, I don't want you to feel like you're in a group but by yourself, right? And it's not like a SewAlong with just me. It's a SewAlong with me and actually a whole bunch of other quilters. I forgot to ask how many we had, or to look at how many we had before this, but I know there's a lot of people who are not registered yet. So this is a big group that we're sewing with. You're not going to get lost in it. It's going to be really, really fun. So let's see. Within the group, there's going to be weekly prompts, and you're going to be able to chat with the other quilters, and you're going to develop these fun relationships that you only get within a SewAlong. Let's see. Teresa asked, I'm a beginner quilter. Would this be a possible opportunity for me to attend? I'm very interested in SewAlong. Teresa, I would say you're already in, right? If you want in, you're in. I'm happy to help. There is some sense of I'm not going to do a step-by-step teaching, but I am going to be available to answer questions for you. I would have to say, like, how beginner are you? Like, if you've never made a quilt before and you have no idea how to turn on your sewing machine, that might be a deterrent. But if you've sewn before and you have an interest in learning and you're willing to go for it, you're going to have the support of amazing quilters with you who are going to cheer you on and help you through that. So I would say that's kind of something you might need to figure out. But Teresa, I'm game if you're game. I think it's fun. I'm really excited about this. I'm really, really excited about this. So Gwen says, I often feel it a challenge to freeform when creating due to the fear of messing up my project. That's very common, extremely common, to like be so scared to cut into the fabric that you're gonna mess it up. And I had to get over that in the very beginning too, because you know a lot of sewing, a lot of quilting, and I do harp on this in my videos that like if you're wanting those really nice, perfect quilt projects, you know, your 1/4 inch seam matters. If the directions say to cut it 7 1/4 inches, you better not cut it 7 1/2 inches, right? Like those details matter, but it's not necessarily like it's the end of the world, right? If your seams don't match up perfectly, then you have to decide if that's going to bother you. Then you need to work a little bit more on your skills to where it gets right. If it's not going to bother you, then that's okay. Perhaps, Gwen, maybe you choose a quilt pattern to be brave with this brave challenge, and you go towards something that is, I don't know, maybe doesn't have corners. So you don't have to worry about that. You know, there are certain quilt patterns that just like, they don't require all of that lining up. And sometimes those are like a jelly roll pattern, right? It does not require all of that like perfect lining up of seams coming together. You just sew, and that can give you some freedom too. So Teresa, you made one quilt. I would say if you're drawn to this fabric and you like learning through me and you want the support of other quilters, I think this would be a really good place for you. We're going to go through some more things that I have on the schedule, and maybe it'll kind of clear things up a little bit more for you as I go. But, you know, start thinking about like what would be like an absolute hard no for you on this, and whether it's worth the experiment, because it's beautiful fabrics. I mean, even if you just cut it into squares and did just straight chain piecing, like I think it would be a gorgeous quilt either way. So the SewAlong is going to be an 8-week project. On the last week, we're going to come together for a live virtual call, and I'm going to put together a virtual quilt show for us so that I can see kind of like the progress of what we've worked on. Everybody will get to ooh and ah over all of our gorgeous quilts that we've built together. Okay, so I know in the first video I originally said 6 weeks, but I looked at my calendar and I've got back to school, I've got other work things planned. I have a retreat being held in Hamilton, Missouri at Missouri Star Quilt Company that I didn't forget about, but like in my head it wasn't as close as this SewAlong. So there's like a week where I will be gone, but so I turned it into 8 weeks. So forgive me for not saying it properly in the first place, but this will give us a couple extra weeks to work. So 8 weeks is what it is, and I'm going to go over kind of more the more polished look, or I guess the more polished version of the guidelines for this SewAlong right now. If you'll have more questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I will just answer them kind of as I have a pause here. So when it comes to the pattern for this, I've had several people ask, what pattern are we going to use? What pattern are we going to do this? This is where it's going to differ from your regular SewAlong, okay? Remember earlier when I said, like, I don't usually like being put in a box and being told what to do. I'm not doing a specific pattern for you in this quilt project, okay? 1 second. I am letting you choose the quilt pattern because I think it keeps things more interesting. And in the very end, we're going to see all of these different quilts. We're going to see the variety that this fabric allows, right? How many different projects can you come up with the same fabric? I don't know. A ton, right? Like, can you imagine the possibilities of everything from like a jelly roll quilt to like charm packs, to which of course we got fat quarters, but you could cut them into charm pack size squares if you want. You could do 10-inch layer cake size. You could do so many different things with this fabric. And I think that through all of this, it's really going to drive home that idea of everybody's unique. Everything is how you want it to be. And I think that if I give you the freedom to choose the pattern that you want, you're going to feel more proud about the project that you've done in the end. So if that's too much pressure for you, you don't know what pattern to choose, you're welcome to email me, okay? I don't want to scare anybody away by not giving the correct guidelines, but from my point of view, I'm also working with people that I don't know all of you personally. I don't know if you are like Teresa and just starting quilting, or if you're like, you've been quilting for 25 years and you just feel like getting together with a group of quilters. Your skills are going to be different as well. So I don't want to pick something that is like boring and snooze fest for somebody who's extremely advanced in quilting, and is something that is going to make somebody else like completely pull out their hair. Also, if this is going to be in your house, it should fit what you want, right? This is a quilt that you're making. So we're just going to do, what we want. If you have problems with that, email me. I will try and help you come together with a quilt pattern. So that way, no matter what skill level you are, you can sew along with us, and we'll get to see all of the different things. As you're doing this, you may say, hey, I really like that triangle look. Maybe that's something I want to do on my next project. This is also a moment where if you just finished a really, really tough project, and the thought of cutting something up into like a million pieces again and working with pieces that are this big is like gonna make you want to pull your hair out, you don't have to do that. You could pick an easier project, an easier pattern, and do that with bigger pieces, a little bit easier construction, right? You can kind of tailor it to what you have. And also, what's on your calendar in those next, 8 weeks, okay? If you are super, super busy, don't cut that fabric up into a million tiny pieces, right? Maybe pick something that's a little bit more friendly with your schedule. So, if you want to embrace your brave personality, right, in yourself, you can pick something that's a challenge. If you pick something that is simple, that's okay too. It's still going to be gorgeous, and you're still going to be, enjoying sewing with us. However, I have a word of caution here. I know that our word is brave. And I know that I have given you some encouragement. I read Anna Maria Horner's reason for making this, and just going with your gut and pulling out that inner artist. However, here's my word of caution. Stay close to your bubble of comfort. Okay? You're allowed to go out of your bubble of comfort and pick something that is a challenge. And I certainly can't tell you what to do. But so this is like advice from a seasoned quilter who often does not listen to this advice. Okay, I will normally see a pattern and I will go, oh my God, that's amazing. And in my head, I go, Kristen, you don't know how to do any of those skills. And then the other part of me goes, but you could learn. And then I have this internal monologue with myself going back and forth going, you could learn. When are we going to learn how to do this? I don't know. We can figure it out. You're like, who needs sleep? Right? Pick something that does challenge you, yes. But you don't want to pick something so far out of your comfort zone that by the end of this project, you are cursing my name in every way, shape, or form, okay? Pick something that challenges you a little bit, but is not like, a beginner level person picking something so far out of their range of skills, right? So that's my 2 cents on that. If you're curious, the pattern that I've chosen, I have right here to show you. And actually, let me pull this over here where I can still see it. It is called the Penny Quilt, and it is by Erica Jackman at Kitchen Table Quilting. This pattern has multiple layouts, fabric requirements, all of that is included with it. So it has like baby, lap, and twin sizes. It also includes a helpful guide for how to make this pattern work with fat quarters. Okay, so when you're looking for a pattern, if you've already chosen your pattern and you're like committed and this is it, then you can just tune out for a minute, because I want to make sure that I give a little bit of advice on choosing a pattern. Okay, a lot of times when we quilt, right, we will look for a pattern, decide this is the pattern that I want, and then we will go shopping for the fabrics for the pattern that we've already chose. We did it backwards, okay? I chose the line of fabric and said, make whatever you want, let's do this, okay? So when you're looking for a pattern, I want you to, there's 2 ways you can go about it, okay? You can look up patterns that have 18 fat quarters in them, all right? That is a, totally plausible Pinterest search, Google search, whatever. You can do that, okay? You can search for patterns that have 18 fat quarters. You can also look for something that is relatively scrappy by the front of the quilt and make it work that way, okay? If you look for a pattern that has 2 fabrics and then you're trying to figure out how to make it work with your 18 fat quarters, it might be a little bit harder. So that's one of the things that drew me in on this penny quilt, was she has a guide for how to make it with fat quarters. Okay, so I'm thinking ahead, and let's see. You want to pick something that incorporates a lot of fabrics just to make things easier on yourself, right? And another side note, there's a million patterns out there, okay? On Pinterest, there's a ton of free ones that are available, so you don't have to pay for a pattern or add more cost to this SewAlong. I actually have several tutorials and free patterns on my website that are beginner friendly. I don't have a whole lot that go into the intermediate and expert level of patterns, but I have some beginner friendly ones if y'all want to go and search my website, icystarsquilting.com, for those free patterns. There's a lot of free tutorials on my YouTube channel too, but that's just if you're looking for something free. You can find a whole lot of those, but look for those that are fat quarter friendly and look for ones that are within your skill level. You may have a stash of patterns. I have a whole stash of patterns that I have collected from quilt shows, that I've printed out for free, online or whatever. I have a whole stash of those. You could look through your patterns that you already have and see if you get some inspiration in there. What I'm trying to get across is you don't have to purchase something, but, and I'm going to put this in here because I've designed patterns and I'm an experienced quilter. I will be very, very honest here. When I saw this pattern, which I'm going to hold it up again so you can see it a little bit better. When I saw this pattern, my mind immediately started doing the math, and I started looking at the grid on this pattern, the layout of the fabric, and I started thinking, I could totally figure this out. I don't need to buy this pattern. I see the grid, the boxes, the sashing in between, it's kind of like log cabin-esque, right? I see the different placements of the blocks, how they turned everything and all that. I don't need to buy the pattern because I could figure it out. But let me stop you right there. I'm going to share my more advice with you on this, because I know that other quilters do this exact same thing in their head, right? They're thinking, that's simple enough. I can figure it out. I can make my own measurements. I can, that's the exact same thing that I went through. But here's my PSA. Because you're my friends and you understand my heart, and you understand that, like, my family's on a budget too. I have 2 teenagers. Half of what we bring home goes to food. Every single one, to keep everybody happy, right? Like you understand my heart and where I'm coming from in this, and I can be honest with you on this matter. Guys, buy the $13 pattern. If you love it that much that you're willing to do the math and copy it, granted, she's not the first person to ever come up with this idea, but Erica Jackman here, who did that penny quilt pattern, it's so much easier. Buy the $13 pattern, print it out, use their measurements and all of their carefully calculated suggestions and the steps to assemble it, right? If you have to figure out all that math in your head, and you're also figuring out, okay, I've got 18 fat quarters here, how much can I get out of one fat quarter, making sure that you're not running out of the same fabric, or like the fabric that you need, too early. One of my mottos that I'm really trying hard to live by right now is, it doesn't have to be that hard. Okay, so I could figure out this design. I could use the Anna Maria Horner fabrics in it, which, by the way, I can absolutely visualize it. It's going to be stunning. But it doesn't have to be that hard, because Erica's already figured it out. She has diagrams and step-by-step instructions, and I don't have to stress about it, or sit there with a calculator and trying to figure out, how much can I get out of a fat quarter, and where do I put this fabric, and how did she do? It's $13. Y'all, support the people who are doing the work, who are providing you with the tools, the instructions, the inspiration, and the tutorials to make your wonderful hobby more fun and less stress. It's not an easy position to be on the other side, and people will figure out how to do things one way or another. But that's my 2 cents on that. I will get off of that and go back to the sew along. But I caught myself when I looked at this. I was like, I could figure that out. And then part of me was like, it's $13. She has a fat quarter guide in here for me to figure out how to follow, and diagrams and everything to make it easy. So I bought the pattern. But that is the pattern that I am doing. Let's see. Oh, I'm missing a couple things on here. Oh, well, Gwen, I shared what pattern I'm doing. Jay's ripping out a seam that she sewed half a block on backwards. Been there. Every single person in this room right now has absolutely been there. And yeah, I have quilts that are quilted with a piece on backwards, because I didn't see it until it was too late. I was like, that is not as bright as all the other pieces that look like that. It's on backwards. So that is just my spice, I guess you could say. So anyways, if you want to make the same pattern as me, I think it's going to be gorgeous with the Anna Maria Horner fabrics. It's the Penny Quilt by Erica Jackman of Kitchen Table Quilting. And if you join her mailing list, she'll send you another free pattern. I think it's called Plaid-ish, but it's a really cute pattern, and it looks kind of scrappy-ish. I think it might actually go good with the Anna Maria Horner fabrics too, if you kind of like that plaid look. But she had it very modern so. Okay, because I don't want to take up y'all's entire afternoon, I do want to go over. Let's see. I want to go over our schedule. Okay. I will be emailing you a copy of this, so if you're taking notes, great. If you're not, that's okay too. I will email you a copy of this as long as you are officially registered so that I have permission to email you a copy of this and I have your email. Otherwise, I don't know you, so I can't send it to just anybody. Okay, so there's a link in the description box down below this if you want to go ahead and get that. Get signed up for that. You'll also get like an invite when you sign up for that to join the pop-up Facebook group, which I will be creating probably tomorrow. Okay, so I'm gonna get everything set up in there. Okay, week 1 starts now, right? It starts now. So don't panic if you don't have your fabric yet. I'm still keeping things very loose in this, but you know, you can still order your fabric. Like I said, Anna Maria Horner's website, annamariahorner.com, has this fabric fat quarter pack in stock right now. Gwen, yes, please, because it tags you separately in my email list, so I don't send the same email out to everybody else. Gwen asked if we have to register if we're already in, if she's already in my membership, and my membership group is like an exclusive group of women quilters, and we get together several times a month, kind of like we're doing now, but we do it on Zoom, and we talk quilting. We have a really good time. We have very close relationships with all of those girls, but yes, I don't want to like, you know, send out emails to my entire list if you're not interested, so please go ahead and do register for that. If you don't have your fabric yet and you decide that you do want to do this, you know, you might want to consider tailoring your pattern choice to your current schedule, the availability that you have over the next 8 weeks. You know, like I had originally said 6 weeks, and then I looked at my calendar and was like, oh no, I can't do 6 weeks, you know, so we're going to stretch this out a little bit longer into 8 weeks. Take a look at your availability of time. Don't pick something that has 40 bajillion pieces in it and you only have 1 free hour a week to work on this, okay? That's setting yourself up to fail, and that's just not kind to yourself, okay? So, you know, look at something that is within your skill set, within your time that you have available, and don't stress yourself out over this, okay? That's like the opposite of what we're trying to do. So you can get your fabric, pick out your pattern this week, start prepping your fabric, take a look at your pattern. Do you need more fabric? You know, this penny quilt that I decided on has like a sashing, right? It has a solid sashing, and I'm not quite sure what I want to do, but my pattern does require a different fabric to go in with it. So, you know, think about if you want to put borders on your quilt, or if you want, what do you want to do for the backing? Okay, these aren't things that you have to purchase right now this week. Obviously, you can kind of like keep sewing, and then you can go to the fabric store later or order fabric online later. But start thinking about those things this week. So moving on to next week, which is week 2, I do have a live YouTube call, which is very similar to what we're doing right now, where I'm going to be available. I'm going to show you some of the progress on my pieces. Like I showed you earlier, I have a lot of progress to make because I haven't even cut into these beautiful fabrics yet. But I'm going to show you some more on that during week 2. And if you want to add the date, let me see, so that you can kind of shift things around a little bit. There's a way that I can schedule a live on YouTube, and I've done it before, but I don't remember how to do it. So I'm going to have to look that up, and I will probably do that tomorrow so that you can kind of see like an upcoming live. But if you want to go ahead and put the date, I have it scheduled for the 17th at 6 p.m. Central. And I said, I'm going to figure out some tech stuff behind the scenes and make sure that that is there so you can be reminded. And we're going to do kind of the same thing here. So you'll be able to just ask me questions. You know, Teresa, if you have other questions or suggestions on like where can I learn how to do binding, or where can I learn to do, you know, whatever step, like where do you have information on this? Guys, I've been quilting a long time. I learned most of my quilting through YouTube and a couple of friends. So if you're wanting to know like who in the quilting world teaches this the easiest way, or if I have a tutorial on it, I will be happy to share it with you. My knowledge is free to share with you, okay? So I'm happy to do that, and that's kind of what we'll be doing over that next live call, okay? And I'll show you some of my progress, some of my favorite tips, and I'll be able to answer all your questions. Week 3 is going to be a work week. We're going to have several work weeks, okay? So not every single week is going to have like this week we're cutting, this week we're sewing, this week we're quilting, because we're all working on different patterns, right? So it might be easy for you to cut everything in your pattern in 1 week, but it might take somebody else a couple days longer than you, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're behind. So I'm kind of putting some trust in you to self-manage your time on this, but I am allowing some weeks where you can float a little bit, okay? If you have a really, really busy week and you need to like double up on your sewing the following week because it's a little bit more empty, you can do that in this challenge, okay? So you're not necessarily behind or ahead or any of that, and you can keep up with other people in the Facebook group that is going to be there too. So, and also if you have any questions in between, you're welcome to post them in the Facebook group. I will be popping in and out of there to check your progress and to make sure that everybody's good. So week 4, I have another call that I'm scheduling because part of this is community, right? We want to get together, we want to talk, we want to have enjoy each other and see what we're working on. I'm going to make that one a Zoom call. Now, the girls who are in my Stitch Sisters membership, they know how fun the Zoom calls are because you get to see everybody's faces, right? You get to see what they're working on. They can talk to you right there, and it's kind of like you're in a room with them, even though we're like all over the world. Because look, there's somebody from Debbie's from Canada, and we had I forgot your name, but there was somebody else on here earlier that was from way, way far away from me. But so that the Zoom call, if you're taking notes and you want to put this on your schedule, is for August 28th at 6 p.m. So I'm kind of scheduling them out a little bit. This is week 4 of our SewAlong. In order to get that link, you will need to be officially registered for this SewAlong because, like I said, I have to be protective of us and our online community, right? Nobody wants just some random weirdo in the Zoom call because that could be a disaster. So if you're officially registered via the link that's in the description box down below, I'm not going to spam you with a bunch of other stuff, but it does allow me to keep you updated on that, and it'll give you the Zoom link for that. And I love being able to see your faces. And also if you have like a specific question and you're like, I don't know what happened. Like, why is this not meeting in the middle, or this one's too long? It's okay. It works much easier to do that over Zoom than it does on like a call like this, where you can explain it to me all you want in the chat, right? You can explain it to me all you want in the chat, but like I can't help you if I can't see it and I can't understand like maybe what happened or ask you questions about it. So that's why I have a Zoom call on week 4. Week 5 and 6 rather, are work weeks. I do have my Refresh Retreat, which is going to be in Hamilton, Missouri at Missouri Star Quilt Center. It's going to be a really, really, really busy week for me. It's going to be a fun week. I'm so excited for this. I don't even have words for it, but I might be a little bit MIA that week, okay? However, I'm leaving you with the Facebook group to have support, and you'll be able to, still get what you need out of that. And I'm going to have to figure out a way to catch up on sewing. See, that's what I mean. Like, I have a really busy week, but I know I'm going to have to work hard the week before or the week after to make sure and get that done, right? And just FYI, if you are interested in any type of retreat activities with me, I am going to be releasing the dates for 2024 Refresh Retreat very soon. My retreats are so much fun, y'all. They are not your typical quilting retreats. It is a pampered, everything taken care of, the absolute definition of the word retreat. Okay, it's fun, and it's a really, really good girls' time. So if you're thinking about you want to take a retreat in 2024, this is why I don't usually talk this long, because I start tripping over my words. But I should be releasing some information about that in the next few weeks. So make sure you're on my email list, because they get first dibs, right? Okay, moving on to week 7. Almost done with this. I know this is a lot, but I am going to send this out in an email so that you have a little bit more knowledge. But you wanted structure, right, girls? Girls and guys, sorry. You wanted structure, so this is what we're doing. Week 7, I want you to kind of get finished up on your quilts. You can, I really, 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 no matter what state of finish they're in, I really, really, really want you to submit a photo of your quilt to me so that I can put it into a slideshow on the 8th week of our quilting journey, okay? I want to be able to have a virtual quilt show so that we can see the progress, all of the beauty that these line of Brave fabrics have, right? And it's going to be a really, really fun way to end this Brave Sew Along. We're going to have kind of a little party call on the 8th week. And, this is why I wrote down notes. I understand completely that life does not always follow the plan that you put in place, okay? So if you planned this thinking you had completely, like, plenty of time to work on this, and something comes up and you're not able to, like, completely finish your quilt with quilting and binding and all of that stuff, maybe you just got a few of the blocks done. I don't wish that on anybody, because that means, like, something really big and busy came up. But I don't want you to give up and feel like you failed this Sew Along at all. So, there's no, like, requirement to completely finish this. This is your journey, your brave journey, okay? And at the end of the 7th week, I really want you to submit pictures. If you normally send your quilts out to a long armor to be quilted, and you have no intention of quilting it by yourself, and you know you can't get it back from the long armor within a week, send me a picture of your quilt top, okay? Send me a picture of most of the blocks done, right? That's kind of what we're aiming for. Obviously, we're all starting out this journey going, I am going to do amazing on this. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be so proud of myself in the end of 8 weeks. But the idea is to bring our community together, to sew something beautiful, to have fun doing it, and to be brave, and to meet more women, on men and women, more quilters on this journey. So that's kind of what I was going for in my original video when I said I want this to be less stress. I don't want to have a lot of crazy rules, requirements, harsh punishment, all that. No, I want it to be fun. I want it to be fun and encouraging. And, that being said, along the Sew Along, I do have some prizes in mind to give away for our virtual quilt show. And I do have some rewards and, fun little things for the quilters who are doing a really, really good job encouraging others in the Facebook group and keeping in contact with people and sharing their progress and sharing their journey. And this is going to be a really fun time. So that's about all of the things that I kind of had down to give you some guidelines and some moments of, okay, this is what Kristen is expecting of me. She doesn't have a pattern in mind. I really need to figure out what I want to do and how I want to take this brave journey. But I'm going to open it now to, if you have questions, I am still here. I'm happy to answer them. And I would love to know what your thoughts are on this. I've seen some of the ones that come through, some comments saying that this sounded really fun and that it sounded good. And so far I was on point with, what you were thinking that you wanted to do. But I want to give you the opportunity to ask ask more questions. So let's see, I'll give it a few minutes to come through. At least tell me, kind of how you are feeling about this. If you're excited, I would love to hear that feedback too. Let's see. Go back to this here. Get the chat is kind of lagging, so I'm gonna give it a few minutes. But yeah, I'm excited about this. I think I'm a little bit nervous that I haven't cut into it, and I was reading over my notes and seeing that in about a week I was going to show you the progress that I've made. Yeah. I wish I had thought that through a little bit more, and I hadn't just showed you like the plain fat quarters all folded up. I need to do some work. I have several other projects that I'm working on right now too that I made great progress on in the last couple days, but yeah, there's still a lot more to do. And somebody left this quilting room an absolute mess. That's another thing that I need to do. So Rose says that she's so looking forward to this, and Rose, I'm looking forward to it too. It's gonna be really fun. I think my favorite part is seeing everybody use the same fabric, but seeing all of the different ways that it could go. Because just in this one piece of fabric right here, I could, cut it very small, or I could cut it like giant and have mostly yellow. But if you frame this out, just this corner right here, it's mostly pink and orange, but if you do the whole piece, it's going to have a very yellow effect. So this really, there's endless ways that this could go. The Tiny Rascal says, I wish that I was teaching the quilting classes. That is, I totally understand that comment. I have been teaching quilting classes for a very long time, and I do have some through my website, but that is a whole lot more intensive than a sew-along like this. It takes a lot more direction, a lot more what type of machine are you sewing on? When's the last time you changed your needle? Is your desk level? There's so much more that goes into it than just sew. But I can give you some good suggestions. Or like I said, I have a class called Modern Quilting Made Easy that's through my Stitch.academy website. If you want to check into that, that has the full, from start to finish, picking out the pattern, cutting out the fabrics, picking out the fabrics, cutting out the fabrics, all that step by step. Or there's lots of videos online that can help too. Oh, in person? Well, are you in Houston? Because... Or if you want to pay for my plane ticket, I love to travel. I'm all about that. In person would be really fun. I've thought about that. That's why I started the retreats, actually. Because I want to meet up more in person with other quilters. So in person would be really fun. In person would be really, really fun. Maybe we'll do a retreat that is just learning the basics of quilting someday. So for those of you who, if you looked on my community feed on my YouTube a couple days ago, I visited a retreat center, and it's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so excited about it. That's one of those things that I was like, you're going to have to wait. I can't divulge any information because I feel like as soon as I say something, something's going to happen and I'm going to have to change what I said. So let me get all the details ironed out, and then I will announce that. And if you're able to, you do live in Houston. Okay, email me. We need to go shopping. And that is amazing. And we got a Pasadena too. You know what? I love Texas quilters. I love quilters from all over, but it's really, really fun. And that's part of this like whole community aspect is it's really, really fun when you figure out that somebody lives close to you. Like there's actually a girl in my membership group who I would have never met, you know. Houston has like, I don't know, I forget if we're like 6 or 7 million people now. I have no idea, depending on where you draw the lines. I would have never met this girl otherwise, and she lives 20 minutes from my house, and she is one of the sweetest people that I've ever met, and you know, we get along great. So part of this community thing is, yeah, it's about finding people that are close to you that enjoy the same things that you do and developing those relationships even further. Let me see. I want to make sure that I'm not missing some of these questions. Michelle says she's looking forward to this, but she's not going to be able to use that particular bundle. Earlier on in the video, I don't know if you got on later, if you saw the whole live that I'm doing, but it's okay. It's okay. For a while, that fabric bundle was sold out. It is in stock. Before I started this call, I checked. I don't know about now, but it is in stock on Anna Maria Horner's website, annamariahorner.com, and it's $61. But if you have fabric and you just want to sew with somebody, there's room for you here. You know, I think it's fun seeing all the different things that you can do with one fabric, but we're still making quilts and we're still enjoying each other's company. So, yeah, sew with what you have. And Karen said, I'm excited to try. It depends on how long it'll take to get the fabric. Normal shipping can take 3 to 4 weeks here. Karen, where do you live? Goodness, that's you must live like rural somewhere, but still, same, Karen. If you like have a pattern in mind and like you are ready to go as soon as that fabric like hits your doorstep, I think there's still time. And if you don't get the whole thing finished by the end of the 8 weeks, or really 7.5 weeks, because I would like to go ahead and get that kind of final party call in our 8th week, which I had that scheduled. I can't remember if I gave you that date or not, but I'll send you all an email with all of the dates in it as well. I want to do that virtual quilt show so we can all experience creativity together. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to this. It's, I love doing stuff like this. I don't always love being the person in charge of it. Sometimes it's easy just to be the one that is just sew and play and have fun and do, right? From your perspective, it's fun. My end takes a little bit more organization, but I love it. We're gonna have fun. We are going to be brave. We're going to have a good time, make some gorgeous things. And let's see. So Nice says, I'm going to try your easy large quilt tote. Trying to venture into quilting. That's a fun pattern. I think you're talking about the YouTube one that I did. I gave the full tutorial for it. It's really fun. Yeah. And I use that bag all the time. It can hold a lot of stuff. I think I made it as like a beach bag or something, but I mean, I took it to Target the other day just because I had notebooks in my computer and I didn't want to carry multiple bags, so it was a really good bag. But yeah, coming together is going to be really fun. So if you have any further questions for me, you're welcome to email me and ask me questions. If you're not familiar with I know some people still are not familiar with how Zoom calls work and stuff like that. I can help you with that if you have questions on that too. So I don't want you to miss out because of some type of technical issue here, but most of you are doing just fine within this chat and stuff. But yeah, this chat will be available. Polly just joined. It'll be available. Excuse me, this is what happens when I talk too long. It will be available on my channel so you can watch from the beginning. I answered a whole lot of questions on the sew along and gave some dates, but the most important thing is I want you to be officially registered for this so that I can send you the personalized links. Well, not really personalized, but like the link to my Zoom room. I don't want to broadcast that to the entire internet, and I don't want you to miss out on that opportunity either, because those are really good, like, closed community calls where we can really connect with one another, show each other our projects, and then I'll send you the link to the private Facebook group pop-up as well. However, I can only do that if I have permission to email you and I have your email address. So the link that is in the description box down below this video, when we get off, it should still be there. I think it should still be there. I get kind of confused on the tech stuff. But and then we will I'll keep in contact, give you some updates when the live videos are coming, so we can get together and hang out for our sew-alongs. So I'm going to end this here. If you have any other questions, feel free to email me. I am happy to reply. It's Kristen at ICStarsQuilting.com, or you can just go through my website. That's probably the easiest way, because Kristen is not spelled the way that you think it would be. So I hope that you'll have a wonderful weekend, and I will be talking to you really soon. So this is week 1. Your job is get your fabrics, start thinking about what pattern you want, kind of go through those guidelines that I gave earlier, that thought process of how you want it to look, what fits your style, what's going to show off the fabric and stuff. And yeah, we'll be talking soon. So have a wonderful weekend. I love you guys. I'm looking forward to this, and I can't wait to see all of the wonderful things that you are going to create on this sew along. So